wife and baby are doing okay? Or?
They're doing well, yeah.
Good.
It's been a wild ride, having 3, and I feel bad for her trying to hold down the fort at home, but yeah, she's doing great. Baby's doing great. So, yeah, pretty grateful to be able to have a healthy baby at home.
That's good to hear. Miami coming to town, and Messi coming to town. As a defender, first of all, have you ever played against him?
I have, yeah.
So, what's it like going up against,
Yeah,
the
I
best in
mean,
the world?
obviously there's no denying his talent and his ability to change the game at any given point in time. And I think, he just raises awareness of all the people that play against him, because anytime you're in a individual moment, you're like, I'm going to stop him. And that can be good or bad. And I've seen it go both ways, where people then overcommit. They try and do something that's outside of their comfort zone to try and make a play. And so there's always this internal dialogue that I think, especially if it's the first time playing against someone like that, where you try and maybe do too much or you get out of your own, just playing the game, being in the flow of the game. And so I think the way that we manage that is to try and stay as a collective, just focused on the task at hand, which is a team sport. It's Toronto against Miami. It's not Toronto against Messi. It's not me against Messi. It's not an individual moment, and staying strong as a collective there. And yeah, obviously they have other pieces as well that are dangerous. So you can't just then put too much focus on one player, and all of a sudden now when he passes it, well, now we're out of shape because we've been dragged all the way over here. And that's just what his presence does on the field. There's no denying it. So tough task, but one that I know guys have also played against him and done well and performed. So we'll be up for it.
Your coach said that, kind of using the Michael Jordan analogy, that you might not be able to completely stop him, but you can try to contain him. Is that
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you obviously know that his quality in front of goal is special. And so trying to limit the amount of times that he has a free lane to shoot or make a final pass, and that's easier said than done, but I think if you can limit the shots on goal, then you're limiting the chances he has to score. But yeah, it's certainly, there are going to be times where he's going to make great plays. He's a great player. There are going to be moments that we're going to have to defend and scramble a little bit to make a big play and a big block, because he's going to create some chances for sure. So yeah, just staying one play at a time and trying to limit those moments to as few as possible.
The disappointment from Tuesday, I wonder how that has sort of affected training this week and mentality going into Saturday's game.
No denying the disappointment, the frustration of what Tuesday was for us as a club. I mean, I know it's my first year here, my first time playing in a Can Champ competition, but we looked at it as, this is a big goal of ours, is to win it. And so to have an early exit in the fashion that we did, it's a huge wake-up call for a lot of guys, I think. There's a lot of you can do the blame game and point fingers at this or that or this person, that person. At the end of the day, we are here as a club, collective, players, staff, front office. It's on all of us, and it's not good enough. And what it does do is, now that we can't change that result. We can't go back and say, oh, well, what if we would have done this differently? It's like, it's too late for that. I hate doing that as a player. You can reflect on your performance, see what you could have done better, for sure. But in terms of dwelling on it, no better opportunity to turn the page than this game against Miami. What an opportunity we have. And then second, you look at our other goals in the year, and, does this narrow our focus into our next goal? Because now it's off the table. We can't win the Can Champ anymore. So now, hey, focus on playoffs. Can we get a home playoff game? That becomes our sole focus. And as sad and as frustrating as it is to be knocked out of a tournament, maybe we can just point all of our energy into our next goal, which is making the playoffs, and take that one game at a time. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. The mood in training has been great. I think guys showed up in a way that you could see that we cared about the loss, and you can be like, oh, it's too little too late, but that's the only thing we can do right now, is show up the next day, the next moment, and be better than we were on Tuesday.
Sorry, Matthew, go ahead.
Sounds a lot like a kind of, I don't want to say speech, but a bit of advice that you might give to some of the younger players on this team with all of the injuries. How do you, as someone who is an international player who's played in front of crowds the size that you're going to see this weekend, knowing how much emotionally is on the line, what does leadership look like for you?
I think there was even moments after the game on Tuesday talking to some of these younger players who got their opportunity in the match, and you can tell there's maybe a little bit of an overwhelming feeling afterwards of even that moment of walking over to the fans, and it's their first time of having to just stand there and listen to the frustration. But what it does is it shows them that this is so much bigger than us. Like, we're playing for a city, a community, a people group in this, area that cares. So you have to care. And it was, I think, a good moment for them in the sense that, you're a professional athlete and your job is to win games. And if you show up in a way that is not true to who you are as a player and true to what got you here and got you that opportunity, if then you get the opportunity and you don't take it and you start playing a little bit differently than how you got there, that's a problem. And that was more my message to some of those guys is, look, you're so good when you're playing with people your age or in training when you're free. That is why you got this chance. Don't change now. It's too late. Don't change on the field who you are as a person. And it's a tough learning lesson, but one that I hope is going to be very valuable to them moving forward in their professional careers. In terms of this game, obviously it's a bigger crowd, a bigger moment. I think it's a similar message as what I just said. You can't go out of your comfort zone of who you are as a player and what got you here. Yes, maybe you can try and focus on raising your awareness to the next play, but you cannot get overwhelmed and caught up in the noise and the atmosphere and the moment. At the end of the day, we're here it's a soccer game. We're here to win. And the best way to do that, I think, is having a clear head and a clear intention of being who we are as a team.
When you're preparing for a team like Inter Miami, are you aware of the fact that, pardon me, they're coming off a frustrating loss as well?
100%. That's obviously in the scouting report. We saw all the goals in that Orlando game, and the contrast between what they looked like in the first half and the second half was very stark difference there. So we know they're a team that can score goals. We know they're a team that can produce, but we also know that they are vulnerable in moments defensively. And so, again, it goes back to managing their opportunities on our goal and capitalizing on some of their deficiencies on their end.
On Zoom, go ahead, Neil.
Thank you. Hi, Walker. Neil Davidson from the Globe and Mail.
Hi.
As mentioned, there'll be a huge crowd on Saturday with the temporary World Cup seats open for the first time. What kind of atmosphere are you expecting?
I think it's going to be amazing. Anytime that you play Messi, play Miami, this Miami team, since he's been here, it's drawing massive crowds, and the energy is different. It's interesting in a lot of places because you'll see a lot of opponents' jerseys, and it's a little bit weird playing a game at home when you feel like sometimes they're showing up for a different reason. But you got to put that aside and hope that your home crowd still cares about your team and they care about your result, and we got to give them that motivation to root for us. And it'll be huge crowd, a lot of energy. We got to use that energy to our advantage and try and come out with a fast start, because it's the bigger the crowd, the bigger the moment. It becomes harder when you're on the losing side during that match. You want to have the momentum. You want to be the team that's playing in front, because it's easier to handle that pressure. Obviously, with a win, you use the crowd support when you're ahead is basically what I'm trying to say.
Toronto traffic is never pretty. There'll be even more on Saturday. What's your commute been like to the stadium this season?
That's a great reminder for me that I need to probably leave at least 30 minutes before when I'm normally leaving. I live north of the city, so typically on a game day it's anywhere from 35 minutes to 55 minutes. So I'm sure it'll be over an hour on Saturday.
Good luck and thank you.
Thanks.
Go ahead, James.
Thanks, Ale. Hey, Walker.
Hey.
Saturday will be the last home game for a while. I was wondering if you could maybe reflect on this long homestand and maybe tell us what kind of impression you want to leave on the fans in this last one.
Well, we knew going into the season how important this home stretch would be to try and collect as many points as we can, put ourselves in the best position moving forward after this 9-game homestand. I think it's a mixed bag, honestly. We've had some performances where we've felt like we've dropped a lot of points late in games, and we've let up a lot of goals that are really soft, a lot of set pieces, and just a lot of moments that we felt like we should have taken more points out of the game. And so going into a game like this, you want to end that homestand on a positive front with the full 3 points. I think that would put us in a decent spot. But there's no denying that we feel like we've dropped a lot of more points than we would have wanted to at home. And I know that we haven't lost that many here, but we've just tied a lot of games that I think we felt like we should have taken the full 3 points. And a lot of these games, too, we're going down early, and we want to try and make sure that we're on top from the start, scoring that first goal and not changing. Too many times we're changing the way that we play after we get scored on. And then you're like, where was this team in the first, X amount of minutes before they scored? So trying to shift that into being aggressive from the start and having us be the team that looks like the team that has showed up after the opponent has scored this season.
Go ahead, Bernard.
Yeah, thank you. Walker, you touched on this a little bit in the answer to Neil, but I'm just wondering how big of an opportunity this is if your team does make a statement on Saturday that some of the people who are there to watch Messi and watch Miami might come back and watch Toronto FC as Toronto FC fans in the future.
Of course, it's a big opportunity to get new eyes and new people in seats that maybe haven't been there before in a long time, and it's a chance to inspire them with our performance. It's, oh wow, like this Toronto team is actually, they're exciting to watch. They're a team I can get behind, I can root for, and that's where I think we got to move on from this result on Tuesday and use this as the opportunity to do just that. I'm not saying it's a do or die moment for the club. It's not that drastic, but it's an important opportunity that we've been given to end this homestand in a really good way. And like you said, hopefully in doing so, we inspire people to come back and fill our seats for the rest of the year.